the break, we were talking how Tatiana beats her children on a daily basis.
She was putting them in the
Something about locking them in the closet. I don't know what that was all about.
That was
let my ex-husband see this. Oh, good.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. There was a day that you could actually, just throw a look at your kid.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like I swore my mother was a ninja.
Yeah.
She had the bionic pinch. She would get you behind the arm, and it was like, dude, I'm done. Yeah. Okay. She did figure four leg lock and get you on the ground. I was like, okay, I give up. Not today.
No, I give my kid a look. She gives me one back.
Yeah.
Well, they Google everything. I don't want to blame it on Google, but I mean, these kids learn from the Google stuff. You said, Tatiana, your kids don't have the phone yet, but I mean, this is nuts.
I think that's a big part of it too, is the information that they're fed.
Well, it goes back to even the small conversation we were having on the break is like, I feel like all the media in general is force fed to everyone in order to cause these sorts of disruptions. And so whether that's disruptions in the family, disruptions in culture, disruptions in communities, it's all centered around like, how can we put one person against another person? Right. And for kids, unfortunately, that perversion is, how can I put the kid against the parent? Or how can I put the parent against the kid? Versus how can we make this relationship in a way that is edifying for everyone? Yeah.
And I think the breakdown of that breakdown of the family, like back then, I don't know, I mean, back in the day, it was, you had this set of morals that were passed on, and you had like, I don't know, the parents actually spoke to you. It was different.
Yeah. Well, nowadays a lot of them that I've seen, and I don't want to call it out they, because it'll be a pronoun, but if the screen is set there, you go out to dinner and they don't talk to the kid, they just set some kind of media screen there. Go ahead and look at that. I mean, I know they propped us in front of the TV kind of thing a lot of times for the babysit, and then you had the latchkey kids. Remember, they were home by themselves because the parents were working three jobs to have everything. It's just crazy what we've bought into with some of this stuff.
I remember when my son was growing up, there was a kid show on television. It was called Arthur.
Yes.
Is that still around?
Arthur? Yes.
Right.
I don't know.
He would sit there and like, it would mesmerize with this show. It was like, a hand grenade could have went off.
Yeah.
Right. And then for my daughter, it was Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues was another one.
That was another one.
Yeah,
and then there was the Teletubbies.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The Teletubbies.
The show that I hated with everything that I have in my bones.
That's worse than the worst
I still
Christmas
call it Vacuum and Nunu.
That was, what's that? What's a vacuum and a Nunu?
I say I still call a vacuum a Nunu. That was the name of the little vacuum creature in Teletubbies.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. But I remember it was like, I don't know, it was like some type of brainwashing thing. It was weird, man. It was just so weird. But these kids got hooked on that stuff. And I was like, well, okay, whatever. But I just felt like that generation there is what broke down, like from your parents to you, which was good. But I think now coming forward, it's like I will say to my kids any day of the week, listen, I'll blame it on my generation. We messed it up.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys to fix it. And that's the scary part, because I don't know if it's a handful, and I know there's more. I mean, I know there's more of us that think the same way, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's like freedom, but then there's a freedom that is just way too much, where you just lose sense of everything.
But there's no
everything
parameters.
that's right. Yeah, there's no parameters.
Yeah,
right.
And it's sad.
You know what? Part of it is, and I don't want to. Every time you do religion or politics or whatever, but look at some of the stuff that's happened in religion. So I was Catholic, raised Catholic, and everything was to Hoyle kind of thing, and then the stories start coming out, and it's like after a while, the stories are true. What do you believe? It kind of went, it kind of went down the, I don't want to say cesspool, but how do you get your footing back?
Well, I look at it this way, is that if I just take, we're talking about the religion for a second. If I just take the 10 Commandments and I live those 10 Commandments and I'm treating somebody else nice, and I'm doing good for other people,
right?
Okay, Worst case scenario, if it was all a lie, it was all a lie. I was a good person, and I treat everybody right.
Right, I agree with you.
But if I was wrong, and I get up there and say, "Look, dude, I did okay,"
but you still treated everyone kindly,
right?
But I think that goes back to what you were saying. The issue in a lot of these institutions is there was so much corruption, or is so much corruption, that there's so much like loss of respect for these sorts of institutions, that no longer do people want to mimic their lives, and so they kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater, and they throw all of these different traditions, or these moral moral traditions, you could call it, away, with the respect that they lost for that culture or community, which I can understand like the mindset behind, but at the same time, it's like, it almost sounds like it comes from a place of anger, I think, because we get angry that these organizations, or these people ultimately that we put on a pedestal disappointed us, that now, instead of being like, okay, and going about it in like a loving way, okay, you're a person, you disappointed me, but I can see this is the good, this is the bad, this is what I'll continue in, this is what I will not continue in. Instead of being level-headed about it, we just get angry, and then we're like, well, I'll show you. And then it's like this weird like rebellion, which is not even like rebellion against religion or rebellion against an organization. It's literally like, again, I think it comes from an anger, like a source of anger. And I can understand it, but also, again, a lack of respect. Like, there's been people in religious communities before that will, tell me, you should do this, you should do that. And then I'm watching them live their lives. And I was like, why would I ever
listen to you?
Ever. You are somebody that I just don't even close to respect in the way that you live your life. So why would I listen to what you have to say?
I think all these problems that we might have that are out there, one, they're all fixable. Every single one of them.
Agree.
I mean, everything that the world is going through right now is fixable. Some people just so ignorant that just won't listen. And that's fine, because I think there's more of us that will. All right? And people that have been hurt, to hang on to it, I guess as you get older, like, I truly know that there's no person on the face of this earth that can offend me.
Right.
I truly know that. Now, I know I can offend many people.
Right.
All right? But and the reason why I say this is why I will offend many people is because what's going to come out of my mouth is fact and truth. If I know fact and truth, and I've really got that in my heart and in my brain, then if I said it, it is what it is.
Right.
And you either just don't want to hear about it, don't want to accept the truth, and that's it.
Right.
And I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Right.
But it is what it is.
Well, at the end of the day, it's the fact and truth. Like, even if somebody else disagrees with it, or if I have something different that I believe is like a specific way, then ultimately, because you believe what you believe, you can at least sleep at night with a good conscience, because you don't believe that you did anything out of inauthenticity.
Right.
And so even if our truths collide, and I'm like, okay, you have a different view than what I have, if we can both at least be authentic in that, we can have mutual respect. Because there's plenty of people that I don't agree with on everything, but I can at least have respect. But then there's other people that I disagree with you and I don't have respect. And in a lot of those situations, we're going to butt heads more.
Right.
Especially in the biggest thing at that, where you said that truth thing, for me, the biggest thing is authenticity. Because if you're telling me something and I'm not seeing it in who you are, then you can't even take yourself seriously.
Just keep it real. I mean, I look at it so easy. I'm like, just keep it real. Just be you. I don't have to go and point my finger at you and say, you need to live your life this way because I believe that.
Right.
All right? You live your life the way you want to live your life. Don't hurt anybody.
Right.
Let's be nice about this. This is real easy.
Right.
And I'm saying this because this is the holiday season and we all should get along.
Right.
And buy each other's presents, know.
And since you're about to go see your family, just remember it.
Yeah, that's right. Sit there with the big fake smile and just, be out there in 8 hours and don't worry about it.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. That's the thing that gets me. And this is where maybe I've always butt heads with people and I end up being, I don't know, I want to say fairly lone, but it feels sometimes that way because, like, I am not the type where if I have to sit there for 8 hours and pretend, oh,
I
it's
don't want
not
to be
for
there.
me, I'm just not going to go.
Right.
I would rather spend my Christmas entirely alone than spend it sitting there pretending like I like you.
Yeah. Well,
It's just not, you're not going to get it from me.
There's relatives I haven't spoken to in decades. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know if you're alive or dead. Sorry, but it's like I just can't. I can't do it. I can't break bread with the person that I just.
It's just, for me, it's like I believe like we all have like a certain amount of energy, right? And like our energy is like tokens or like coins, and that every time that you do something, like for example this podcast, right, we sit down here and we talk, if there is not, when I put my tokens into you, right, as a person, as we continue to exchange conversation, if it doesn't have a positive return from like a ROI perspective,
Right, I've invested in you my time.
then I'm not going to do that too many more times before I start realizing that this is just a bad investment.
Right.
And it's that simple. I don't have to be angry at you. There's no animosity. There's nothing wrong with it. But I'm just going to be wise with my energy. And like, I only have so much. So if you're not producing a return, then I got to take my energy elsewhere. It's again, there's nothing mean about it. There's nothing, I don't hold any animosity or whatever, but it's that simple.
And you notice a lot of times it's always like sometimes the people that are really close to us. You know,
well, I say most of the time it's that because you just know so much about it. Yeah, really.
You know, it's like, I'll use my mom. With my mom, it's like we just don't talk. It won't happen. I just can't do it anymore. It hurts too much. I just don't want to do it.
Right.
And
I got to the place with my mom and the same thing.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I've tried. I've tried in Kevin's way and in my time, but you know, when you just keep getting kicked in the shin, it's like, you know, it gets a soft shin after a while. I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
it is.
Know?
It's especially this time of the year. It's tough. So many people have so many problems with that. I feel sorry for it.
And I got to tell you, I've put, like we're talking about energy, I've really have put my energy into whatever I can do to make somebody smile.
Right.
Whatever it is, you know, whatever it is. And, you know, I've been just going around being Santa Claus. Hey, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. You would be surprised how many people are so happy because you said that to them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, wow, that might be the only thing that brightened their day.
Well, that's another thing that got dragged through the ringer for how many years?
Yeah,
couple
don't
of
say
years.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, I think that's one of those things that media just drives in there to just sort of like divide people.
That's what it is.
Because nobody was legitimately getting offended by you saying Merry
No,
Christmas.
No, not at all.
Like, that's not real.
Not at all.
But they want to convince you it's real so that you can fight with whoever, Nick, that believes that, you know, he celebrates Hanukkah, so how dare you? Like, they don't care.
Sorry, Nick.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
and in the same way, if I say Merry Christmas to somebody else and he goes, oh, Happy Hanukkah, I'm not going to be like, oh,
Right.
so that's your religion,
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
Like, nobody does that. That's
It's
not
like,
real.
yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. It's like, listen, media, back off because we don't live that way.
Yeah.
You know, we really don't. It's like, to get offended, it's like
It takes a bit more.
it takes a lot more. You know, you better go strong.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just, well, I mean, and not that people don't get offended over little things. They certainly do. But ultimately, that part too, you have to recognize that those people are just that way, I feel like. Because there's just some people that no matter how hard you try, like you said, you wanna spend your energy making people happy. Well, there's some people you could put on an entire dance and give them all your money and they're still gonna complain.
Right.
Like, and that's not you, that's them, and like that's their mental health. Like, that's not really something you can fix ultimately. And I think that you have to do, again, that kind of goes when you make other people happy, I'm sure you get satisfaction.
Well, you do,
in that,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So
ultimately,
ultimately, you're doing it at the end of the day not because you're making somebody happy, but because you feel good about spreading joy.
Yeah.
And so you can't be bothered when you try to spread joy and somebody instead is like, a Scrooge, because, again, not your problem.
Well, speaking of
That's
Scrooge,
not why you do it.
the church is holding this Christmas thing on the 15th.
Okay.
You know what I'm showing up in? The Grinch outfit.
A Grinch. I love it.
I am. Oh yeah.
I love that movie.
I got to go against the curve. You know that. You know that, Cindy. I can't.
I do.
I'm going, and I know
Grinch is good. Do you have a dog?
No, I do. And his name is Charlie.
You gotta dress him like Max though from the.
And I could do that. Well, but I got a dog Bear too. He'd probably be more of a Max. And I could put the antler things on his head.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, that would be great. That would be absolutely great. I got to go against the grain. You know that.
Yeah, you do.
It was,
You
ho, ho, ho.
Right.
You know, bah humbug. You know, I love doing that.
I love it. It's
you
fun.
know, and it's just not Christmas.
But that's such a good movie anyway. I mean, even the whole story.
Well, the
and the
message is good.
Yeah, the message is so good.
They were doing the top Christmas movies too.
Oh, that had to be one of them.
Yeah.
That one and Elf.
I think it was.
I'm sure they're up
matter
there.
of fact, it was Elf and The Grinch for number 1 and 2.
Really? What about Snoopy? I like the Snoopy.
You really
Christmas.
like the Snoopy?
I bet It's a Wonderful Life was up there too.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is that with the skinny?
Classic.
What's his name?
Snoopy's the one with the tree that's
Snoopy.
only got the 3 leaves.
Charlie Brown.
No, The Wonderful
Charlie
Life. Who's that?
Oh,
What's his
it's
name?
the old movie.
Which one?
When an angel, you hear a bell, an angel gets his wings. That's it.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
when you hear
What's the
about
guy's
it.
name that stars in
I
it?
thought that was Wonderful Life.
It is It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
What's the guy's name though? The star.
Oh, if only I knew old actors and actresses
I
well.
don't know.
Mm.
Ted, your phone and Google it. I don't have my phone
I
in the
don't
studio.
know. That was a good movie. I like that
That
movie.
is a good movie.
There's a
Yeah.
bunch
It's
of good
sad
ones.
though.
And what about the BB Red Rider one? That was good.
Which one's that? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll shoot your eye out. It'll shoot your eye out with
Yeah,
the
and
BB
then
gun.
that lamp in the window. I love
Yeah.
that with the leg
Home
lamp.
Alone, I bet's up there too.
Home Alone. Yes, it
That's
was.
Yeah.
That was a great movie. You know, I'm not into the cartoon ones.
You
Yeah.
don't like Snoopy in that? No?
Nah, not anymore. Not
Okay.
anymore. I gotta have like real life stuff. You know,
Okay.
Angry Santa was up there too.
I mean, I
It's-
feel like,
Yes,
yeah.
it was.
You know, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't. It was one of my favorites.
Yeah, the Santa Claus franchise wasn't too bad. All those movies with
Yeah, so these are things like even like all right. So let's talk about like the Christmas songs, right?
Yeah.
And there's just the staples. There's the Bing, you know, Johnny Mathis, and I'm probably sure the generation
Andy
coming,
Williams.
yeah, that
and,
don't know
those.
these guys'
Yeah,
names, but it's just a
definitely.
staple song that you expect to
Right.
hear every year. You know.
Yeah.
And then there's
what we do.
800 varieties of them.
Well, speaking of that, I drove up north. So as I'm driving back, I said, you know, I'm gonna listen to Christmas music. It's amazing how many varieties of songs.
It's
You know,
crazy.
you'll take one song and there's 50 million runs of it, and
I'm surprised any of them get traction because it's like how many times are you gonna hear Blue Christmas? I say that, but one of my favorite songs is a cover of Elvis Presley's song. So
yeah,
I mean,
But you know what? Talking about those songs, really, we're talking about songs that have been around for a really long time. What's a more recent Christmas song? I'm trying to think of one, and I can't.
well, when they come up with more recent music, they
I
come
don't
up
know
with
any.
things like Gobble Gobble, and so we
Yeah.
cut them off.
and there's a he she one we got
Nope.
the one we gotta look up.
Yeah,
The-
he she. No,
he she.
she
We
and
got
him.
we got to
yeah,
listen to
because
that.
I haven't heard one recently. They're all remakes or whatever.
But that pronoun song's new. We got to listen to
Yeah,
that
No,
one.
it's not
Sure.
a song. It's in a band that covers a bunch of songs.
Oh.
They have a couple
See.
of new songs. Like
Yeah,
I think
so-
one of them is I mean I could be wrong that it's not an original, but there's one on there called the Christmas Waltz that I think is an
Oh.
original to them, but I could be wrong.
That
If
sounds
I am
interesting.
wrong,
Is it all
then-
instrumental?
No, but it has a waltz beat, which is
Yeah.
fun. So
Yeah.
I like the Christmas shows.
I do
the
too.
country music, Christmas one and all those other ones. I like them.
Last year,
Yeah.
C and I went to go see Circus. I always say Circus Olay. I don't know what it is, but
Cirque du Soleil.
du Soleil,
Circus du Soleil. But that one. But it was the
Sounds
Christmas.
like
but,
an
it,
Avon
but it was the
person.
Christmas
Cirque du
one.
Soleil, you know those hats.
You know that one? That one. But it
We
was
go to
great.
Texas State
It was.
Museum, and then we go to Cirque du
was-
Soleil.
I went to Circus du Soleil.
And that's right after we watch the Big Man group bang on their little drums right there. So
But
we're
we
just going to
went-
finish the night off with some gelati.
I did.
How'd I know?
So Christmas gelati. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, we went to
Well,
the
that's-
King Center, and
The center
The
or
center.
the center?
He said it like
I
he's
said it
from
right. You guys say
Jersey.
it wrong. The center, the King Center, and we went. The Circus du Soleil, that thing,
The Cirque du Soleil.
and
Ole!
it was Christmas. There was a Christmas one. It was great.
Oh, that's fun.
It was a
Well,
blast.
their
man.
shows are amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. So now I'm trying to look for one. Hopefully my wife's not looking. I'm trying to find a show for us to go to. Don't look. All right.
Yeah.
Shh.
What
out
about
there.
the Nutcracker? Have you ever seen that?
I've never
one?
seen it. I would have probably fallen asleep with that.
I like the Nutcracker, but I also grew up dancing. So
Oh yeah, I like the Nutcracker, but when you see it once,
Is it
that's
ballet?
enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
ballet.
the
I'd be like that.
Ballet?
you know
Yeah.
what though I saw not that it's like entirely a Christmas theme at all, but Midsummer Night Dream, which has like winter vibes sometimes, they're doing one at the Theater Guild, I think in the spring.
They are?
Locally, yeah.
That was the first like performance I've ever seen in my life. I was young, I was in school, and they took us to Central Park and they were doing A Midsummer's Night Dream.
Oh.
And I was like, what the hell is this?
Really?
This is the one with the donkey head? The guy who walks around a horse head or something like that on him?
I don't know.
Is that Midsummer Night's Dream?
I think it was. I don't remember.
It could have been.
But I was
It
like,
could be. I need to. I mean, I really have only read parts of the play. I haven't actually seen
Right.
it. I've only read parts of the play.
but I've
So
realized I'm not a
looking
play
forward to
guy.
seeing it.
I'm a musical guy.
Okay,
I like the song and dance, Cindy.
those are
You know,
fun.
the plays, I'm like, oh God, get me out of
What's a
here.
good musical
Some of
that
them
you
are
like?
okay. Did you
Les
ever go
Mis.
to
I love
Rockefeller?
Les Mis.
Okay.
You know, Phantom. I love Phantom.
Yeah.
Do you watch him on Broadway?
I did.
Because you're from
I
New
did.
York.
I watched him in Broadway, and Les Mis I saw, I might have been Palm Beach. I think it was Palm Beach
You
I
know,
saw
one
too.
of my bucket list items that's a New York thing is seeing the Rockettes at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Their
Amazing.
Christmas
Yeah,
special.
they are.
Amazing.
You gotta go
Again,
there.
that's like from my dance
Mhm.
background. I just have always
Yeah.
been a bucket list item.
Yep.
But it's also hard for me to bring myself mentally to go to New York during Christmas time.
You should.
Well, yeah, but that requires. So if anybody wants to donate a jacket,
And the
I
cash
live in
inside the
Florida.
pockets.
it's not so. I mean, yeah, the cash is one thing, but I just don't want to have to buy like a new wardrobe for
Right.
going to New York and
Oh, you
Christmas.
just go to the Goodwill and get
That's
a coat
all.
and then bring it back.
Get a homeless coat.
Okay,
you
yes,
know?
but see, the issue is I'm also a little bit too, what's the word?
Agoraphobic?
Fashion forward.
Oh, fashion. Okay. I wouldn't have guessed
So
that.
the secondhand stores are out.
That's
No,
it.
no,
Okay.
I love thrifting, but I'm just so picky. So, like, I feel like it would just take me a long time.
Do you remember, Cindy,
But I'll
back
get there.
downtown? There was, oh, man, they weren't called thrift stores. They were second.
The recycle or
Like a
whatever?
consignment.
Yeah, upside consignment. There you go. That's
no,
a
it
big
wasn't
word.
consignment. It was just used clothing, but it
Okay.
was hip, used, really cool stuff.
Well, we've
You
got
know,
a place
cheap.
like that here. It's not cheap, but they do a lot of that upcycled stuff, and they've put a really like hit brand on it. It's called the Clothing Warehouse. I'm not sure if you've
Okay.
been there.
Where's that?
Oh.
Give them a plug.
It's in Vero. Sugar. Where is it at? I'd have to look it up again because I've been there, but now I can't really remember where it is.
My clothing warehouse. If
I
you ever
think,
hear
do you know
of us.
where Collab is?
No.
Oh, that's over there where the
It's in the
patisserie used to be.
It's in the same general area.
Off of Old Dixie by
yeah.
Fish Shack and but down going more east. It's like a block east.
But they have, it's a
where it
lot
is.
of like, they basically find thrifted stuff, but only like cute thrifted stuff, and then they kind of upsell it. So it is not cheap, but it's not like expensive. It would be like the equivalent of going to a normal store. It's just not thrift store prices,
Right.
but it's all thrifted, upcycled stuff. And you got some cute stuff there. So,
See, we need to find these people because we gave them a plug. They need to be a sponsor, I think.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think, you know.
2
yeah.
minutes left,
no,
Kevin.
that would
got
be that'd
two.
be good. I think
Yeah.
the owner of that is actually a young female too, which would be kind
Let's
of
get it
cool.
rolling.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love bringing the females on the One and Only Man Show. You know that?
Yeah, you might as well.
It's my best shows.
Plus, I mean, support women entrepreneurs.
Let's
right?
do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Oh.
that was a good one. She was good with that. She just slid that right in there. So the name of her company is called Cooley Creative, y'all. And tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're technically a marketing company. I say technically only because we cover quite a bit of stuff and we do a lot of production stuff. I consider us like more of a holistic approach to marketing where I have like a content creation background.
Mhm.
And so we try to approach every client very custom, like who's your client, who are, your target audience, what are their goals, their desires, their fears, their hopes, their aspirations.
Oh.
And so now we're creating marketing strategies around, those things. And
Yeah.
so, and it's pretty comprehensive. We do everything from like rebranding to social media to, again, photography and video for content, but all the strategy behind it. And so
And
it's
you got a
fun.
new studio.
I do have a new studio, which we have photography in. And then just because I have a dance background and I love it, we also do dance classes.
Yeah.
We're actually going to start a dark room. for film development.
Interesting. Wow.
Which is really cool. And so
Yeah.
we're going to do some like workshops on like film photography.
Sweet.
We're going to do a couple different workshops on different skills
Sweet.
like that.
I wouldn't do the dance because I'd break a hip. I see the way you dance. I'd hurt myself.
Yeah. It's
She
not,
does a heels class. I don't know how the hell you do that, but God
is
bless
fun.
you.
It
So
is
check
athletic.
this out. Every Tuesday, 5:30, we're here. No bars hold, man. We're going to bring it to you. You might not want to hear it, but I know you're going to stay tuned because I'm not kind of an annoying guy that you want to watch because they're going to be like, Cindy, you believe the crap that comes out of this guy's mouth? I know, right? But we're back, all right? Next week, you're going to have